Welcome to Adventure Race Croatia. The first edition of last year's greatest Croatian adventure impressed the adventure racing world with its beauty, diversity, complexity, and excellent organization. With its islands, sea, river canyons, and above all the Croatian mythical mountain Velebit, the Zadar region has proven to be the perfect host for a world-class adventure race. As rumors of the new race spread all over the globe, the world adventure scene had discovered a new star. The county of Zadar, the northernmost part of Dalmatia, is characterized by exceptional geographical diversity. The participants of Adventure Race Croatia 2019 will get to know this region with its turbulent and rich history through an exciting and challenging adventure. This year, Adventure Race Croatia, as part of the Adventure Racing World Series, is one of the 9 qualifying races for the World Championship. It's longer, harder, and more challenging than last year. The 30-team limit was exceeded a few hours after the opening of entries, so in the end, 41 4-member teams from 17 countries will compete in the race. The best teams will fight for victory and a direct ticket to the World Championships. 164 adventurers are ready to meet and explore Croatia the hard way. The Pine Beach Resort in Pakoštane, near Zadar, is boiling with excitement. It's dawn, 3.5 hours before the race starts. Teams have only now seen the maps for the first time and are trying to figure out the site of the race. Team navigators have their hands full. In the little time they have before the start, they try to plan and chart the ideal route. Every mistake they make now, they will pay for in the field with lost time and unnecessary miles. More than 500 challenging kilometers and 10,000 meters of elevation range await the participants of Adventure Race Croatia 2019. The course is divided into 17 sections that will be mastered by kayaking, biking, running and hiking, using caving and climbing skills and non-stop navigation, trying to find the fastest way to reach all the checkpoints in the race. The fastest teams will need about 70 hours for the entire course, while the race time limit is 106 hours. The picturesque town of Pag on the island of the same name is the starting point for Croatia's greatest adventure. The island is known for its sheep's cheese, lace and a lunar-like landscape of barren rocks exposed to the infamous Bora wind. The town also has a 1,000-years-old tradition in salt production. The excitement before the start of the race is great, and so are the expectations.
Just fun.
Well, hopefully a lot of pine trees and beautiful water.
Loads of fun, I suppose.
Right now I'm a little bit scared about the starting line, and I hope it will not rain so much, it will be sun like that, and we enjoy every little stage, every little leg.
Adventure Race Croatia 2019 started with a sprint from the main city square to the main city beach. From the long sandy beach of Prosika starts the biggest kayak crowd in the history of Croatian adventure racing. This time, the Bora had mercy on the adventurers. 82 kayaks set off on a 32-kilometer-long journey on calm seas towards the coast, where the mighty Mount Velebit awaits them. All teams successfully paddled over the Velebit Channel and reached the first transition zone. The kayak leg has left no one indifferent.
Beautiful.
Beautiful as expected.
Amazing. Beautiful. Beautiful paddle. Tough on the boat side.
The sea is very good.
Okay,
And le paysage is beautiful.
Very long, very nice, but very long. But good. We are in good shape.
I don't like kayak. I prefer trek and VTT.
Last year's edition of ARC was marched with trekking legs, extremely beautiful but also extremely demanding. The main culprit for them is Velebit. According to the race director, this year will be no different.
Trekkings are the highlights, and for me, first trekking is the most beautiful part of the race.
The runners had their first encounter with this rocky giant in a place where the Highlanders used to say goodbye to it forever. On Mirila, the body of the deceased would be laid on the ground for the last time and marked with 2 stones. Although they buried their dead in the village cemeteries, they believed that the soul of the deceased remained on the Mirila. Hoping to invigorate their souls rather than drain them on Velebit, the competitors set off on the most challenging and longest trekking section of the race. From the very beginning, Velebit showed its true face. The maze of sharp rocks, romantically called the Stone Gallery, justified the infamous trekking status of the ARC.
Was beautiful but pretty tricky as well. Let's continue.
In a magnificent form, Velebit offers everything that rough Dinaric karst is widely known for. Among other things, there are numerous deep pits that have been carved out by the water in the soft limestone rock. There was also a checkpoint in one of them. Since descending the rope, regardless of experience, is always a risky activity, the safety of competitors was taken care of by members of the Croatian Mountain Rescue Service.
Ovdje smo im spremili specijalitet vrtlinu koja je špilja sa 2 jamska ulaza, niz koje oni moraju apsajlati 50 metara vertikale, postavili smo im 2 linije i oni sa naravno svojim pravicama, svojim znanjem moraju sigurno i brzo doći dolje, ostatak tima ih čeka.
Sem se kar javila. So mi jame všeč, pa pred kratkim sem malo potrenirala abzal, tako da...
Only the fastest teams passed the pit Vrtlina by daylight, but regardless of their placing, they were all entering the first night of the race, a night on Velebit. The 40-kilometer-long trek ended in the canyon of Velika Paklenica. For the first time in the race, teams will get on their bikes. In the transition zone amid the vertical cliffs of the national park, there is no time to rest. Bicycles should be taken out of boxes and set for riding as soon as possible. Most teams went through the transition in Paklenica before dawn. They are facing a challenging 60 kilometers that will take them from the south to the northern side of Velebit. This is not the longest leg of the race, but it is the one with the biggest elevation gain, as much as 1,400 meters. One of the features of multi-day adventure racing and one of the toughest challenges for racers is not sleeping, or more precisely, sleeping in very short intervals. How, when, where, and for how long or short the teams will sleep is a strategic decision that often directly decides on the outcome of the race. Each individual and each team deals with the demons of sleep deprivation in their own way.
We stop on the road and you sleep 10 minutes.
We try to sleep on the next TA and catch up later on.
We'll probably sleep, she says, looking at her teammates, either tonight or tomorrow night, but probably tonight.
We sleep 40 minutes. It's okay. The next night it will be more difficult.
The night was very hard on the bike because we were sleeping on the bike, so it's not a good idea to sleep on the bike.
I think that's the most difficult part for the whole race, not to fall asleep during trekking or going downhill.
The scenic Master Road, built in 1832, was the first modern road to connect northern and southern Croatia over Velebit mountain. It took cyclists past the striking rocks of Tulove Grede, but in the race there is not much time to enjoy the scenery.
It's beautiful, and I'm looking for the other team who's coming, so we need to accelerate.
While from the south to the north side of Velebit, the teams rode their bicycles on a tough but masterfully constructed road. Now they are facing a pathless wasteland to return to the south side.
We had navigation error. The terrain here is tricky. It looks quite okay, but a lot of rocks on the ground, so it's very slow terrain.
Like the entire mountain, the southernmost part of Velebit is intersected by an underground maze of caves and pits. Although not the deepest, the Mamet pit is impressive because of its huge entrance hatch. In addition to cavers, it has attracted other adventurers. Fame-based jumper Felix Baumgartner jumped into the pit with a parachute, and Ivan Trifonov, for the first time in history, performed a balloon flight underground.
Okay, what's the plan for?
Push.
Yeah.
And finish.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, push and finish. Sounds like a plan.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
The long descent from Velebit ended in the canyon of the karst beauty Zrmanja. After a refreshing swim in the icy river, competitors grabbed the paddles for the second time in the race. The kayaks passed the landscape that has successfully played the American Wild West on several occasions in a series of films about the Indian warrior Winnetou. After the kayaks, a short trekking section took the teams through the swampy area of Karin and the dry canyon of the fickle river Biela. Most of the teams were here caught by the second night of the race. Halfway through the race, 4 teams stood out leading an exciting race for the first place. The Jusvi Swedish team was the first to arrive at the transition zone in Zelengrad. Only half an hour behind them are the French teams Hoche One One and Raids Aventur, while the Polish Adventure Trophy is also very close. Slower teams must also think about making the time limits. If they don't, they'll be redirected to a shortened track, which of course also affects the final result. Speed, strength, endurance and team spirit are all important in an adventure race. But if you ask adventurers what is the key success factor, most will agree: navigation. How important navigation really is can be best demonstrated by the 22-kilometer-long trekking leg on Postak. The hilly, rocky plateau in the hinterland of Zadar has proven to be a real orientation challenge.
This is a big trek for us because it seems that some checkpoints are not easy to find.
The greatest frustration for a team is when it spends valuable time and energy on getting lost. This is why navigators are extremely important, valued and bear a big responsibility.
That's sure. If you want to have a performance and have a good result in this type of competition, you have to compete with a navigator. That's clear.
The navigator of the Jusvi Swedish team is a former world champion in orienteering.
I love maps, I love navigating. It keeps me awake, keeps me busy. I think it's a huge challenge and I like these kind of challenges.
The Swedish Jusvi team, led by a top orienteer, hiked this section in just over 7 hours and at night. The slowest team lost here almost a whole day. Wandering around the Postak hill took them almost 20 hours. Adventure racing is not only about pain, suffering and frustration. It is also an opportunity to enjoy the beautiful scenery and interesting challenges prepared by the hosts. A refreshing time out from the long bike stretch was a must-have swim for the entire team at a checkpoint set up in a small karst lake.
The swimming part was the best part. The water was really nice, lovely and cool, and yeah, brilliant. They're very cold, but after that it's refreshing, and now I hope we can race faster and chase the other teams.
It's refreshing with the sunny day, but I'm sorry for all the team during the night.
Although currently dry, the Cicola River Canyon offered another challenge. The Via Ferrata on the vertical cliffs of the canyon required full concentration of tired athletes. The royal city of Knin and its fortress, one of the largest medieval fortresses in Europe, were the scene of a crucial moment in adventure race Croatia. The 3 first-ranked teams arrived there almost simultaneously. The French teams Hoka One One and Rides Avantur that decided to finish the race together at the Velebit Trek, and the Swedish team Jusvi. Inside the walls of this mighty fortress that towers over the city and canyon of the crystal Krka River, a short orientation race was set up. And here the Swedes made the decision that decided the race.
Felix said to me, "Hey, come on, why are we here? Shouldn't we win the race?" And I said, "Yeah, of course."
We were starting to get a bit tired and starting to waste time that was unnecessary, so we need to pick up the pace and get focused again. And that really became the motto for the rest of the race, right?
Yeah, I think that's changed.
From that crucial moment on, the Swedes had 7 more sections, more than 150 kilometers and 1 full night ahead of them, but they never left their leading position after Knin. Dawn, day 4 of the race. Vransko Jezero Nature Park. The ornithological park and the largest Croatian natural lake mark the end of the last cycling section of the race. The Swedes arrive as fresh as at the beginning of the race that started almost 70 hours ago. They have only 14 kilometers of kayaking along the indented coastline and little islands of Pakostane region to reach the finish line and their victory. Finally, after 73 hours and 9 minutes, Adventure Race Croatia 2019 got its winners. The sandy beach of Pine Beach Resort in Pakostane was stranded by the kayaks of the Swedish Jusvi team.
Beautiful course and very varied and very tough.
Lots of races have very long legs. This was an intense race with 17 legs, all coming next to each other pretty close all the way. So that's a little bit different, and it makes things fun to do that.
By winning the race, the Swedes may have secured their ticket for the Adventure Racing World Championships, but their performance did not impress the race director.
I'm quite unsatisfied because they were too slow. I predicted they will do it in 72 hours and they did it in 73, so they were obviously slacking a lot. I hope next year when they come back, because they won a free entry, they'll be a little bit more punctual to my predictions.
1 hour and 40 minutes after the Swedes, 2 French teams, Hoka One and Raids Aventur Absolut Rai, crossed the finish line together, just as they had been for almost the entire race.
We were so happy to be together, so it was really helpful to have the spirit and to be great, and so it helped us to enjoy this race. So we just didn't want it to separate after that. We wanted to cross the line together, so it was fun. Yeah.
Although they did cross the finish line together, Raids Aventur placed 3rd on the podium. Not wearing a mandatory life vest on part of the race cost them 15 minutes of fines and caused their final 3rd position. After the winners, the other teams still had a full day, more than 30 hours until the time limit to finish the race. The Czech team, Black Hill Solomon, arrived just 40 minutes after the French. The last to cross the finish line was the Australian Synergy Adventure and Fitness team in 104 hours and 11 minutes. 17 of the 41 teams have finished the entire course. Another 16 crossed the race in shortened versions, while 8 teams didn't finish the race. Once again, Adventure Race Croatia has proven to be one of the most exciting events of the Adventure Racing World Series.
Croatia is stunning and it keeps on surprising. Like every time you go around another corner, it looks completely different. Definitely not just sailing in the sea. The mountains have been amazing, but it's been really interesting.
It's a wonderful race. Thank you so much, and maybe see you next year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to explore the easy way as well, not just the hard way. And I'm ready for it.
Adventure Race Croatia has proven to be the perfect host and the perfect arena for a World Championship class race. hopefully hosted by the organizers in the near future. In 2020, the race moves from the Zadar region. A new location awaits new adventurers who will come to Croatia to explore it the hard way.